You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. That's what's
But
up.
I'm gonna start it now. It's about to start. So what's up, everybody? My name's Aaron Redmond. This is my Zoom cast
All right.
with family and friends, and today we are talking to veterans. I'm glad to have Vinny here, Michael Kingsbury, Andre Redmond, and Alexandra. All four of you. I'm grateful for you. You know what I'm saying? And
Really
you
cool,
know
man.
what I'm saying? I'm gonna start it now. It's about to start. So and hold on. Redmond. Oh my God! It's all kind of technical difficulties today, man. But we all good. It's all good, man. It's just a little family show, and I'm gonna tell you what. You know, when I put this together, I was thinking, what would be good? You know, have my brother call some friends, call up a few other people, get some friends on here, talk about some veteran things, some veteran events before, during, and after. You know what I'm saying? Share a little part of your lives. And one of my questions is, why was y'all crazy enough to sign up in the first place? Because I was not going to be running nowhere, yo. They think I had to run. I say, what? I am not running. We'll put you in fat camp. I don't give a damn about your camp, yo. Yeah, I am not going to be running just to run some more. Nope, I'm good. I'm good. Let the real heroes join. I let Andre join. I was like, I'll see you when you get back, brother. You know what I mean? This is what I want to ask. The first question I want to ask is, what did you expect? Was it what you expect when you got to boot camp? We can start off with Vinny.
Didn't know what to expect. So I watched a lot of Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, very cool, baby. Very cool.
Yeah, it was just some similarities like that.
Similar, like all the marching forever, all day, all night marching.
Yeah, drilling, a lot of drilling, a lot of PT.
Yeah. Did you hate it?
No, it was different at first, but a month in, I never wanted to leave. I was just so in tune with it. I was like, this is what I know now. I like it, you know?
For real?
Yeah, you become part of it. Everything.
Once your body gets used to it, I guess.
Yeah, after you puke a couple times, you get good with
it. Was there any times where you thought, okay, I might lose my life right now?
Basic? Not in basic, no.
No, not in basic.
No.
It's just regular stuff. Any of you other guys experience any crazy stuff during boot camp, like right during the basic part of boot camp? Any craziness? Anything that you didn't expect?
Well, I went in a little bit later on in life. I think I celebrated my 31st birthday in boot camp. So I don't know what you guys did. So I had no expectations whatsoever. I didn't know too much about the Army except for what I saw on Stripes, and that wasn't a good comparison. Boot camp for me was interesting because the mind games that they were trying to play didn't work on me because I'd already been through some things. You know, I went to college, I pledged my fraternity, and they were doing the same things, and I was laughing, but I was also like a mentor to the younger cats trying to keep their heads on straight, you know. So other than that, all that running, like you guys said, I wasn't expecting that. I ain't know nothing about running until I went to boot camp.
That sounds crazy, man. I knew about the running. That's the first thing I heard. Nope. How about you, Alexander? How about you? What was it like for you?
I mean, when I went in, it was everything that I expected it to be. Hard, challenging, you know. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less when you're protecting your country. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like hard to the point where I wanted to like give up or anything like that. I mean, there was some difficult places that I was, but you know what I mean? And the time that I went in, it was like 2005. I had some excellent drill sergeants that like really pushed me. So, you know, I did my time and, you know, I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? You just got to embrace it. Like you said, the mind games are, you know what I mean? Like they're breaking you down to build you back up. So, you know what I mean? And from where I came from, that's exactly what I needed. So.
Yeah,
okay.
That's cool.
All right. How about you, Dre?
Yeah.
Questions?
Yeah. Well, in the Marines, you know, I always knew it was going to be crazy. So that was That was nothing new. For me, I was like, some of the guys was like, "How you got so much energy?" I was like, "Well, before I came here, my job, I got up at 4 o'clock. But in boot camp, I got up at 5:30. I was getting more sleep, so I was cool, you know. I woke up cool, you know what I mean? So I was like, hey, this is good for me. And but they always try to say some stuff to make you laugh, because as soon as you start laughing, now you all know I laughed all the time back then, you know. And like they said, all right, gotta do some push-ups, sit-ups, running plays, all that stuff. As soon as someone would say something, they just looked at me, came right in front of my face. Now you know I'm gonna laugh as soon as you get in front of my face to see something gonna happen, you know what I mean? So that was it. I was always up there doing stuff. And what would they say to me? I think the first 2 weeks I was there, I was a road guard. What it is, when we start marching, you know, you jump in front of the street, stop the cars, and then you let, you know, the platoon go by, and then you go back. And then the drill instructor was like, well, you know why you're a drill instructor? You know why you're a road guard? I was like, no, sir. He said, because you're expendable. You know what I mean? That's the stuff they would say. That's the stuff they would say, you know what I mean? And you just start laughing to yourself, you know what I mean? Because you're like, man, here we go. It's already, man, first 2 weeks, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that happen in boot camp. So I think one time I was worried. That's when we had to rappel down. We was up like 4 or 5 stories up. Never did that before. So like when you first start, man, you're nervous as hell. You think you might fall. But then, like a quarter of the way down, I was cool with it. I was just having a good time. I just rappelled down, you know what I mean? But that was like the only thing.
So you had to climb over you have to climb over whatever, or
It's
it's
like
just
it's a
jump down?
wall. It's like a wall. It's like about 5 foot high, you know what I mean? And then you got to rappel down on a rope and go down, you know what I mean? But when you first go over there, because they show you what to do and everything, but showing and actually doing it, 2 different things, you know what I mean? So when you first put them 2 feet out there, you're like, oh man, please Lord, don't let me fall, you know, and die in here boot camp, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, the first couple of, about maybe 10 feet, I was like a little worried. But then after that, I was like, oh, this ain't nothing. And I just went down, you know what I mean? It was really cool. So that's how it was with boot camp for me, you know, just mainly just laughing, because they always get you laughing. I was just always doing push-ups and sit-ups, man, because they would just say a lot of dumb stuff, then to get you to laugh and stuff, so you can just start doing push-ups and stuff and like that. So that was it, you know what I mean? That was like the hardest thing for me to just get stuff. And then
Go ahead.
you had like another thing is like, you got a whole bunch of people, so it's like 70 of you in a platoon, you know what I mean? And they would just do dumb stuff that piss people off. And the more people get pissed off, the more push-ups, sit-ups, and all craziness that you got to do. Because it'd be like your front door, and we on the 3rd floor. They want us all to run down to the ground in like 20 seconds. Like it's 70 people trying to get through that door. You know, it ain't gonna happen. So all day you just going backing up, down the door. And then they were like, then someone said, MF, you know what I mean? After this shit, goddamn, he's like, you gonna curse my beloved Marine Corps? All right, everybody go back up. And now we had to get our blankets. Then we're outside flapping the blankets. And someone said, goddamn, I'm tired. Like, oh, you tired? No, you ain't tired enough. She said, go up there and grab your mattresses. Then we had to go get our mattresses and run out the door, and be down there in like a minute. That ain't happening. So you get halfway down, go back up, come back down, go back up. It's all day long for like the first couple of weeks doing that kind of stuff, man. And marching and stuff like that.
Kind of like marching, but punishment at the same time. We're gonna march it.
Yeah, man. So
punishment too.
That's it. That's
they turn you guys against each other. Were they ever successful at turning you guys against each other?
Oh yeah. Because you got some that are screw ups. You know what I mean? And the screw ups, man. I remember one boy. He was fat. He was kind of chunky, and when you first get there, they tell you got like 3 minutes to eat. But when you actually sit down, it's actually like about 10 seconds, because they'll count like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 10, you're done. You know what I mean? So some people are still like putting salt, pepper on the food. They got to get up and go, because it's over. They actually, it's actually like 10 seconds. So you just hand everything, you know what I mean? But the one boy was hungry. So he brought a sandwich, took a sandwich back. So, but they caught him. So they made him stand in front and eat that sandwich, and made us all do push-ups and sit-ups. And the whole time he said, this is what you're going to say to everybody here. This sandwich is good every time you take a bite. So everybody get pissed off, you know what I mean? But that's the kind of stuff that would happen, you know what I mean? So and they would just, and anytime someone made a mistake, a lot of times you wouldn't get the punishment, but everybody else would, you know what I mean? So That's how things were.
How about it for the rest of you guys? You guys experience a lot of stuff like that? No? No, it wasn't that bad for you guys? Vinny?
Hey, they say if it ain't raining, you ain't training. Right? That was our motto.
Okay. See, that's why I didn't go, because I would have been the one eating the sandwich, yo. That's why I wouldn't go. I like sandwiches, yo. I would have ate that mom and it'd be like, yeah. So let me ask you, after boot camp, right? After boot camp, is that when they give you your assignments and stuff like that?
For Army, you go to AIT, and I think the Marines go to some other training, if I'm not mistaken.
It all depends on just what your job title is. You know what your MOS is, Aaron. You go to different places.
In the military, there's just a whole bunch of different, what you call it, MOSs, and according to what you have, you got to go through that type of training.
Right.
So if it was more of a combat kind of a MOS, you had to do more combat. You know what I'm saying? Or if it was like a I don't know, scholastic kind of thing where you had to do mechanical stuff, but you had to read a lot and build. They would put you through a lot of schooling and stuff like. Is that the different things they did for you guys?
Yeah, depending on what you were. Like if you was a fireman, you had to do the fireman. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
How were you, Dre? What were you?
I was ordnance. I was munitions. So I did I put bombs together, put them on the helicopters and the planes, and I was in the Marine Corps and Air Force. So in the Marine Corps, I did the bombs and stuff like that, put that stuff together, but I was actually a door gunner on a 53. So I shot the 50 cal out of the window. You know what I mean? And you ever go to the video game, arcade games, you shoot a 50 cal? It's pretty much the same. Yeah, that's what I did in Marine Corps. But in the Air Force, I actually made more bombs. And we did C4, we did we stored everything. So anything you put on an aircraft, that's what we did. You know what I mean? So it ain't too scary. Benny know. I was with Benny in the Air Force, so yeah, Benny knows. You know what I mean? So sometimes mishaps happen, but everybody thinks you're gonna die from a bomb. Civilians, but nah. The worst thing is flares because you just don't know how they're gonna come bad in the box and they could just go off. So they had a thing where a couple of people died because they put them in a circle trying to get them done real quick, and a bad batch went off, and then it just went a chain reaction all in the circle. And they all died. So now you can only make it just a front row. Yeah. In the military, Aaron, when if something changed, like a safety thing changes, because somebody either got hurt or they died. That's how it usually goes. So yeah.
I see a whole bunch of heads shaking. But first, before I get back to the other guys, what's up, Dawn? How you doing, Dawn?
Hey,
Thanks for coming. I always wanted to get both sides, and I know that Dawn knows both sides. She was married to one of you guys, military people. She had that wonderful experience too.
Oh yeah, wonderful.
yeah.
But we'll get back to you, Dawn. We'll get back to you. Vinny, what did you do? If you can tell, you don't have to tell us anything you don't want to say. You know what I'm saying? But what was your orders? What did you have to do after boot camp?
So I was in with Dre, and it was munitions, conventional munitions, bombs, rockets, bullets for the A-10s. And there's a lot of different shops in that range. I would do line delivery where I'd load up a truck and I'd hook up the bombs. And we're in a bomb dump, which is a good distance away from the flight line and the runway, because if they all blow up, mass explosion, you're going to ruin your plane. So we were way out there, unprotected. And then we would drive down a little path and then drop our munitions off to the airplanes.
Oh, that does not sound fun. That sounds dangerous as hell, man.
Yeah, you see some stuff, bro.
Well, I guess if you signed up for it, that's why they say you expendable, right? Do your job. Right. You're expendable. Just do your job.
And you got a good sense of humor doing it.
For real.
Yeah.
Life or death, it'll bring out your sense of humor, life and death, you know what I'm saying? If it's always there, always in your face, well, here, this is how it is. That's why I sign up. What about you, Mike?
When I first went in, I was a linguist. I was human intel. So I went to DLI on the West Coast to learn Chinese. And then they sent me out to do some things. And work with some special folks and some other
Yeah,
stuff.
this guy, he said they sent me out to the West Coast to learn Chinese, so I just do something. Yo,
Damn, dog. You
learning
did that, man.
Chinese?
Some
Yo,
of
that's
the
hard as hell.
some of the stuff that I did, you know, we ain't supposed to talk about. You ain't supposed to hear all that. I'm just saying, I was Chinese linguist. That's about it. And then later on, I went to be in the medical field, and I was a combat medic. Deployed a whole bunch of times and did a whole bunch of stuff and saw a lot of things that some of these guys probably have seen too. But
Wow.
I think language school was probably the funnest and the most difficult and challenging part of my military career. You know, it was 2 years immersive in Chinese. It wasn't every day from like 7 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening as far as school goes. And then you had another 5 or 6 hours of homework. And so that was cool. That was interesting.
You ain't get enough homework in the milk.
No, the homework at the milk was nothing. That was like a thumbnail. Good to see you, Dawn, too. How you been?
You love, how are you?
I'm loving life, living life free now. Civilian retired.
Hey.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. But y'all can do that shit later. Hey, Alexandra. What was your deal after boot camp? How was you doing? What was you up to?
I went to AIT to become a 92 Fox, so I worked with aviation, loading hot and cold fuel onto Kiowas, Black Hawk, stuff like that.
Cool.
I cross-trained with ammo, so I loaded like ammunition and rockets and things like that when we went into the field. So yeah, that was my job.
Crazy. Y'all all crazy. Everybody here crazy. I just loaded the explosive fuel that could explode at any time. It's just one little spark we all did kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. People don't realize just how dangerous it is to be a military person. They only see guns and in the movies. It looks real beautiful in the movies, but in real life, that stuff is real and it's not changing. It's real and it's not, you know what I'm saying? Your life is really at stake. It's not a fantasy. There is no like re-up. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get a second chance to shoot that gun after they killed you. You know what I mean? So I'm very honored just to have you guys here. I was hoping I could get some military and we talked about a little bit of your during. Can we talk about your after? What was it like afterwards? What was it like after? Who is talking? Who is talking, yo?
Dawn. I think it's Dawn.
Hold on. Yeah, it was Dawn. We muted her. She's good. She'll be back. She'll be back when it's her turn. Yo, but this is what I wanted to. After your all of you guys are out of the military now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right. Now I know you had some expectations leaving the military. I'm sure you did. Everyone, you did your job. You did all you could. You did what you can, what you're allowed to do, and you're finally out. You're ready to live this American civil lifestyle, kinda. What was that like? Like, Vinny, when you left, like, how hard was it for employment? How hard was it? Like, was there any like difficulty at all, or was it just I'm military? It's all gravy, baby.
I was in the Air Guard. You know what that is? It's the 1 weekend a month, and then 2 weeks a year. And then we went on a few deployments. When we went to Kuwait for Operation Iraqi Freedom, I had to leave my civilian job, and they were actually emailing me. The president of the company's emailing me, like, when am I going to be home? When am I going to be home? Like, I can't tell you. I don't even know. But they were ready.
I thought that was illegal, though. I thought that was illegal to do that.
The Soldiers and Sailors Act. But this was before, I guess, they were equipped to handle that.
Mm.
But I could sue later on, but I was like risking my job. And then a couple of guys were foreign military in my shop, and they stood up for me. And they were at home. They were like, you're not going to do this to this guy. So when I got out, I had my job. So I returned to my job, and it was a really slower pace because when I got out, we were deployed twice overseas. So it took some slowing down. But
Was it hard to slow down?
It was hard to slow down. Yeah, very hard. Yeah, it's still hard sometimes. Just different.
I understand. A change is a change, man. You have a whole lifestyle of busyness, and then all of a sudden you're out here where you gotta learn a whole new way to live. Yeah, I get it. I get it. How about you, Alexandra? How was it for you?
Well, you could probably put me last when you speak with Don because our lives kind of intertwine, as far as
Okay.
the military goes.
Okay, I'll leave you last. Make me remember because I'll skip your ass. I'm good at that.
Okay, that's fine. Don't put me on the spot.
All right, Mike, go ahead, man. What was it like when you finally retired? Because you just recently retired, right?
I retired. My last day for retirement was January of 2017. And slowing down, like they said, was hard. After all those deployments, living the military lifestyle, getting used to what my first name was. Most people still don't call me by my first name. And then I started nursing school a few months after that, and I just graduated with my BSN. Again, it's hard getting used to being around civilians because they don't have the same mindset as a military person does. They don't seem to have the same dedication. A lot of people play, a lot of people don't realize that some things are quite serious, but at the same time, like they said earlier, that sense of humor, our sense of humor might be a little bit different, so, and I'm still learning to adjust and just chill out. But one of the things that I saw in the military, a lot of the things, it helped me out in school, being focused and stuff like that, which I'm not right now because my dog's biting on my hand.
It's all good. Look, the way this is run, you're just at home doing your thing. It's like a phone call for me. I like to do a phone call type of situation so that it doesn't feel like you got to do all this posturing and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to be yourself. Because I myself, I don't give a fuck how you guys feel about me. I'm good.
Bob, I love you, man.
I love you too, man. I do. And so Alessandra wants to go last. We'll get back to you, Dawn, after this, okay? Andre, what was it like coming back, man? Yeah, I know a lot of your stories, but make it simple.
Well, I came back. I just got married before I left. I came back to a new baby, and my buddy brought me back from the base, and kind of find out he got killed the next month. So that bothered me a little bit. I had a couple of it was weird coming back because it's fast paced, everything, eating fast. You know what I mean? Always watching what's going on around you. And being that I was a gas man for the city, working on the people's houses all the time, it made me just watch out for stuff more, so it's harder to stop that. I still even do it today. I always got to face when I go to anywhere, like eat out place or go shopping, I always got to look at the door. I always got to be facing the door. So, a lot of things, what I mean? You get a lot of things you still got to deal with when you come home to civilian life. And family and friends, they don't really understand. Only really another military person would understand. You know what I mean? So this is things we just got to deal with, coming back. And then, you have people are happy you're back, and you hear the politicians talk that stuff, but they only care during it's election time. So what I can't stand is how they posture a lot and then they forget about us. You know what I mean? So that just takes a lot. And just simple things like, telling people going out, sometimes you want to go out, sometimes you just stay home, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of things that are good and bad. So you just gotta deal with it. You know what I mean?
I understand.
So now I go to talk to somebody from the VA now, so it helps out. But there's just, when it comes to that, it's just and the thing that pisses you off when you get what gets me crazed up is when these these drug dealers or all this stuff talking about it's just like the military, it was worse than the military, and I'm like, dude, just shut up. Don't don't keep on saying that kind of crap because you don't know. Ain't nobody dropping bombs on you. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody. Y'all just out here doing drive-bys, shooting people without guns. I say, it ain't the same for us. You know what I mean? So no. I was like, don't compare yourselves to us. Don't ever do that. And you know, some of my friends are the Army, Navy, Air Force. You know, they don't say about us Marines. You know, we're gonna always speak up about it. And one thing us military people can't stand is when mugs like you're in a room with people who never been in, especially never been in our unit, like either Marines or Army, or whatever, and they want to say you like ooh rah, or they want to say all our stuff. You know what I mean? And we're like, yo, were you in? They're like, no. I said, well, why are you saying it then? You know what I mean? Well, what's up with that? You know what I mean? Don't be a pretender now. You know what I mean? Like you ain't earned that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we have a little problems with like little things like that. So it's a little bit, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a little bit like getting used to, getting adjusted to, you know what I mean? So, you know, you just gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? So it's good. So I'll just leave it at that, bro.
It's hard to love the people you fight for, yo.
Yeah, it is.
It really
I
is.
say it is a lot of times. It is. It is, man. I ain't gonna lie. It is, man.
Alexandra, you
It
want
is.
to go last? Go ahead, Alexandra. Go last. It's your turn now.
Well, where do I begin? Well, I mean, after I got out, I was actually married to a combat soldier who was also in Don's husband's troop.
Mhm.
We were neighbors when I lived on base, and Dawn
Oh,
was a really, really good friend of mine. And, you know, I'm really happy that we crossed paths. She's been a big help, you know, you like inside and outside of the military. She taught me a lot, you know, while I was in. But I mean, while I was in, my husband went on tour quite a few times and he had PTSD. I never went on tour. I was always stateside. So, you know, he went through a lot of things. So because he went through a lot of things, I went through a lot of things. And then coming back, you know, and forth from, you know, civilian life, from military life, and trying to deal with what he had going on and what I had going on, and, you know, with the kids and everything like that. It was a really rough, you know, separation just in general. Just, you know, like some of us have mentioned, you know, we're not really thought of after, you know, the fight, after what we go through, you know. And I feel as though there could have been something more done, you know, in that aspect. You know, we don't just lose, you know, our battle buddies or, you know, other brothers and sisters in arms, you know what I mean? Like we lose each other, you know what I mean? Because some of us are married to each other. Some of us are married to other civilians, and you know what I mean? And we're not really taught how to shut that off. You know what I mean? It's not something that you can flick on and off. You know, they train us to do a certain thing. And, you know, when we go to get debriefed, you know, the whole don't beat your wife, don't beat your dog, you know, that really doesn't help. You know what I mean? Obviously, we know that, but, you know, you don't unwind us after you wind us up. You know what I'm saying? So that
When
would
you
probably,
guys, I'm sorry. So when you guys leave, they don't have no type of psychological kind of exit
Debrief.
kind of thing going on.
I mean, we make our own psychological exit, basically. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much how
Crazy.
it goes.
But
You
that's
know, like,
crazy. Like, why wouldn't they get you ready for civilian life? That's kind of like where we left Milton Hershey. It's almost the same exact thing. We're going to teach you all this stuff. We're going to throw you back into
yeah,
civilian life and just deal with it. It's crazy.
yeah,
They get what they need out of you, and then they just throw you back.
pretty much
right.
how it is.
You know, and that's the thing I have a problem with. I don't like the throwback. I look. You sign up for it, fine, good. Get what you can out of the people you sign. You know what I'm saying? But I feel that they should be honored when they leave. It shouldn't be a process of, okay, like you just had a job and now it's your time, your employment's over. You know what I'm saying? Because you never stop being a military person once you're a military person. It
Right.
doesn't change.
Right.
You know, it doesn't leave your system. It doesn't just, you don't just stop being a soldier. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
the honor part of it, you know, I mean, that's great and everything, but when it really comes down to it, that doesn't bring back the people that we've lost. You know what I mean? And to give us the help to overcome that, not just throwing pills at us, not just telling us here, you know, go take this opioid, or, you know, have us waiting for hours at the VA, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, really actually make the effort to want to help us. You know what I mean? Like, don't just use the clout that you're helping veterans, and, you know, everybody's like, oh yeah, you know, they're helping veterans, and you're really not doing that. You know what I mean?
It's just to be on TV and say that I love them. I'm such a honorable person. You know what I'm saying? And I helped them, and you didn't do nothing. You didn't do, you know what I mean? That's one of the things I don't like. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't sign up, because I used to see what happened to veterans. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what? I was like, no, man, no, I can't sign up for that. That's the real reason I didn't sign up. I just said, you're going to use me up and then you're going to toss me out here. I did all that myself, though, you know what I'm saying, when I got out here. But I'm just saying, you know, it's a different thing to be taught a discipline and then you're just thrown out. You know what I'm saying?
The hardest thing that I had a problem with was, you know what I mean? When you go into the military, you're given a code of conduct. You know, now, regardless of whether I was married to this soldier or not, the point is that I still hold the same code of conduct that he does. You know what I mean? So if he goes down, I go down. You know what I'm saying? So I spent probably a good 8 years of my life feeling that guilt for not bringing him back to himself. You know what I mean? And I lost him. You know, that's...
Sorry to hear that, sis.
I'm sorry to hear that too. You know, but you know what? Look around. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other people here just loving your whole existence, babe. So we're just, you know, I'm just happy that you came on, and I'm happy that you're able to share what you can share. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people think that it's all good. You know, they watch the TV and all military people. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on now.
Yeah, you know, they think it's just glory and, you know, happiness, and that we're just nothing but trouble. But the thing is that, you know, the trouble comes from somewhere. You know, you get hyped up on that adrenaline rush, and then you just want to live on that because you're never wound down, like I said. You know what I mean? So a lot of these soldiers are getting put in jail or thrown in jail because of the way that they were trained. And now they got to take the brunt of that, you know, when it's really the government's fault, you know?
That's what I think. If we could do something about that, that would be great. But I feel like I'm just talking because I don't even know who to talk to, what to do, who to write. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Well, the problem is, like, a lot of times you try to get that up, and you know they ain't trying to give it to you. You know what I mean?
You got to jump through so many hoops.
For the Agent Orange. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? The stuff you got to go through just to get the help. So that's why a lot of them give up. That's why some of them be killing themselves or shooting up people because they're whacked. You know what I mean? You know, it's just sad. You know.
And not only that, but there's some veterans that don't even know that they have PTSD because they've been so blinded by everything that they've gone through. So you have to actually know that you have something, want to get the help. They don't just step in and be like, hey, there's something wrong with you. Let's go get some help. You have to want it. You know what I mean? And most of us don't want to admit, you know what I mean? Even in civilian life, we don't want to admit that there's something wrong with us. How many of us are going to be like, oh, I'm a veteran. I was trained to be strong. I was trained to fight. I was trained to do all this stuff. Now I got to admit that I'm broken. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you know?
Saying that something is weak about your psychological problem or your character or whatever it is, it's hard for anybody. But for a soldier who's trained to have no weaknesses, that's crazy. I mean, come on, what do you expect from people? You know, you're still human.
We just got to drink water. That's all.
Yeah. Drink water.
Water changes everything.
They say water and Motrin.
Yeah. Water and Motrin. You'll just be fine. You know?
All right, I'm gonna let Dawn talk because Dawn was married to a veteran. So, what's up, Dawn? How you doing today? How's everything?
Good. Yeah, I was married to a veteran.
So when it's on that side, right? When it's on that side, were you married? Were you married from beginning to end, or did you marry him while he was in training? How did that work?
I married him right after he finished the AIT, basically. So,
Okay.
Um, we were dating for like 5 years prior to that. And then he decided he wanted to go in like right after 9/11. And he he was all for it. He was like, this is what I really want to do with my life, blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, you're crazy. Don't do it. Don't do it. And he was like, no, this is something I've always wanted to do. I always thought about it. I really want to do it. So it was his decision. I stood by him. And I don't know. I was a little scared even then. Like it wasn't something that I thought was a good plan from the start. And I didn't really I wasn't gung-ho about it. I didn't think it was a great idea. But he wanted it. And so when he went in, I followed through with him. You know what I mean? Like that's what you're supposed to do, right?
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, so I wound up marrying him right after that. And then he was deployed in July. He graduated AIT in February. We got married. He deployed the first time in July, came back. He was back for less than a year and deployed the following, I think April, if I'm not mistaken. And them 2 deployments, he came back, he wasn't even the same person. Like he was fucked up.
For real.
And, yeah. And he's still fucked up. Like he's on drugs. He's real thrown off. Like the conversations that he has is just outrageous. Talking about being an archangel and all types of weird shit that doesn't even make sense. And kind of like Lex said, you think that they're going to come back and that you can help them, but really you can't. Like you can't bring somebody back from a place where they go. Like it's something inside of them that just changes. It snaps. Basically, something snaps. And you can't bring them back from that. Like they just, once they're there, I guess only an act of God is going to make them change back. You know what I mean? Or bring them back from that.
How long was he deployed?
Each time he was deployed for a year. 13 months the first time, and I believe 11 months the second time.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Where was he? Was he overseas in the heat, or was he like just,
He was in Iraq both times. He was the first time he was basically in the center of a lot of shit, the first deployment. The second deployment wasn't quite as bad, but it was still, he was still over there. He was still deployed. The first deployment, their FOB got bombed and they lost one soldier. Well, they lost 2, but they lost one of their soldiers from their platoon. Their whole trailer got obliterated. Yeah.
Was that Shelton? That was Shelton, right?
Yeah. And he was a good kid. Like I don't even think he was 18 yet. I think he was like 17 years old. He was only there. They left in July. He got their FOB got bombed on December the 3rd. And that was crazy because like we all hung out, like we all went out together and hung out together and spent all of our time together. Like we were always together. And when they came back, all of them they went in kids, but they came back and they weren't men. They weren't kids anymore either. Like they weren't.
It was just trauma.
Yeah.
Just trauma.
A lot of trauma left with a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
I mean,
without the help.
I think like for my family, every time they saw my husband come back from a deployment, like my mom used to tell me all the time, she's like, every time I look at his eyes, every time he comes back from a deployment, he looks more wild and more wild. It's like, and the thing is that, you know, your family notices that, but the most painful part is because you're married to them. It's basically like you watch them die every single day, every single time, you know. And the thing is the time that they have with you, you know, you work through your issues, and right when you're about to hit a breaking point, they got to go again, you know. So it's just, it's redundant. It's over and over, and every, you know, like every year, every other year. And I'm telling you, like, because they were 19 deltas, it was every other year. And it was every single year you watch that person die to the person that you knew when you met them, you know.
Yeah.
And it's the most painful thing to endure on a daily basis. Like you cry, you're looking for solutions, you're looking for answers, like counseling, you know. I mean, you get to the point where because you love this person so much that you start threatening their chain of command, you know, like that's what I did, you know what I mean? Because I was like, you know, you guys got to do something, you know,
Yeah.
like this is not healthy, this is not, you know. And in my case, you know, my husband didn't get physically abusive. He just started drinking more and more, partying more. And it was just like, he did not want to feel nothing. Like, and it became like a complete disconnect. Like there was nothing that I could say, you know, that would ever trigger him to be like, oh yeah, you know, like nothing, not his child, not me, not his family, not nothing. You know, he was just shut off. And to this day, still shut off, you know. I mean, he hasn't talked to his son in like, I want to say 6 years, you know. And there's been no argument, there's been no fighting, there's been no nothing. I mean, I think what it is it's more the guilt, more the shame. Like, what am I going to say to my son? He's already going to be 15 years old. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what do I say? You know, and the only thing that I can do is just reach out and just be like, hey, as long as you have breath in your body and my son has breath in his body, you know, he's ready to forgive you, because that's the thought and the mindset that I have to instill in my child. You know what I mean? Like, I want him to understand that it's not him. You know, he needs to understand that he needs help, you know. And if he could reach back to his child, he would really understand that that's the missing piece to link him to who he really is, you know. But he has to want it, you know, and that's the issue, you know, that's the issue. So.
And it's crazy because when I think about Drake, like, I know how proud he was. I know how much he loved him. Like, he, you know, that was his pride. And knowing now what I know now, it's just crazy thinking how he's not there. He's just not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the sad part about it, when you know they're there, but you really know that the person you knew is no longer alive. They're not there.
The body's there, but the mind is not.
Mine isn't.
Yeah.
And it's hard to celebrate, you know, the bravery and the sacrifice when you're sitting there watching the sickness, and you're watching it with no assistance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's no assistance. You just have to watch the doom. You know, I understand. I get it. And you know, my brother had to watch my doom. You know what I'm saying? I fell pretty far myself. You know, my mind wasn't right for a very long time. But I guess.
What clicked for you?
What flicked for me?
What changed it? Yeah.
I lived long enough. You know what I'm saying? I didn't die during it. That's what changed it. I can give you all these like instances where, and that happened and it was over. No, that's not what happened. Well, I can tell you the day that I knew it was happening, you know, was when I bought my house. I had my house. I had a home for the first time. It was mine. You know what I'm saying? And it was something I had to live for that I didn't have before. You know, and I think for me that was the switch. I think for when you lose it, when you see death in ways that you shouldn't, that we were never raised on. Let me put it that way. When you see it, we weren't raised with bombs and stuff and all, seeing our friends blow up. So that's something that we weren't used to, we were never taught how to deal with. But I believe that, like, sometimes some things only heal with time and therapy. If you're able to get the therapy, you're lucky. But if you're not, sometimes all you got is time. When you're just tired of you, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? When you're tired of you and you not necessarily believe you can make a change, but you're gonna try anyway because you're just tired. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and when you're a little insane and rocked and it seems like there's no hope, it's pretty true. Usually there is no hope. You know what I mean? But if you live long enough, and you have the hope is there. If you live long enough, something happens when you mature. When you grow up a little bit, you have a chance. The longer you live, the more of a chance you have. The less you live, that's where you die at. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't say that it was a one particular thing, because along the line of getting my mind back and getting back on track, a lot of things happened, and I thought that was the moment, but it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But it was one of the reasons why the last moment was the last moment.
Right.
You understand what I mean?
Everything leading up to it.
Yeah, all those things. Because I remember, I used to be addicted to crack, and I can remember I went into a store, and this woman was looking at me for some reason behind the counter, and I went to buy the glass that you used to smoke out of, and she looked at me and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I want to buy that," and she was like, "You don't do this," and I said, "You don't know who I am." And I was offended that she thought that I was too good to be who I was. That's where my mind was. You know what I mean? And she fought for me. Like,
Yeah.
she fought for me. She said, "You don't want this. You really don't want this." And I was going to get it. I wasn't going to get it from her. I was going to get it from somewhere else. And when she finally saw that, she touched my hand and said, I don't even remember what she said, but it was the look in her eye. You know what I'm saying? It was heartbreaking. But
She cared. She
she
cared.
cared. So I'm getting emotional. That ain't supposed to happen. So
All right. Who else? Who else?
later on, right? Don't mess me up. Get off my damn channel. No, but what happened is, when I bought this house, right? When I bought this house, I remembered her. I remembered her. I remember her saying, "This is not who you are." You know what I'm saying? And I was like, she's right. And that was like 15 years before that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm very grateful for everything that happened to me up until now. Because all those things, all the kindness in spite of me, all the love in spite of what I was doing, it stuck. All that stuff was just going to lead me up to the point to where I could make a decision for myself.
Right.
And I can say that it was only because I lived long enough. You know what I mean? A lot of people died. I know a lot of dead people. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people still stuck out there. You
Yeah.
know, and they're like ghosts. And I feel bad for them, but I'm still grateful that I'm here doing this with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So keep the prayers up. Pray for the best for them, and keep it moving, because that's what they need you to do. They need you to keep it moving. They
Yeah.
need you to live and keep going. You know what I'm saying? Because one
Absolutely.
day there may come a time or a moment where, because you kept it moving, they can move. So,
Yeah, that's true.
you know what I mean? You just gotta love them anyway. You know, you just gotta love them anyway. But take care of you first. You know, and if you can do something, to help them, just do it. Who knows? They might come back. Who knows? You never know. They won't come back. The old person's gone. What they're going to come back to is something new and better than what they had. So,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So, listen, I didn't talk to Tone yet. And I always like hearing what Tone say because he get on my nerve. So I'm going to ask him to say something. Tone, do you have any questions for these veterans and veterans' wives, man? Do you have any questions, brother?
Well, what I want to know is like the Uncle Andre, like, uh, uh, how do y'all deal with the PTSD that came with going to war, going to being shot at, having to kill people, either by accident or y'all was inside war, seeing your friends and stuff. How do y'all cope with that? Get over that? Where most veterans, some veterans don't. That's what I wanted to know. And Uncle Andre, you're pretty much muted, so I see you talking.
Oh, let me see. I got unmute. Go ahead, Andre.
I think everybody does it in their own way. So like, I ain't really have too much death. Most thing I had was we all come back and people kill themselves. So
Sorry, Andre.
Sorry, man.
Man, you're gonna make me cry. This is not supposed to be that kind of call, okay?
Really? Look. I'm right. I'm gonna lighten it up. Like the only reason I do this call is because I don't live life, yo. But go ahead, Andre. Go ahead. Do the call. Go ahead. If you want to talk, go ahead.
So you gotta, get up in the morning and basically say, they're not here, but I am, and you gotta keep it going. It's hard. You have some good days and bad, mostly bad, but the good ones that you have, you rallying. So that's what you gotta do, Tone. Everybody got
Find
their own.
something to live for. Find something to live for.
You think family's it, but that's not always the case.
Always the case.
Not always the case, family or friends. You just gotta do something. I'm not really all there yet, but if I'm around y'all, like, my problem is probably try to save people all the time. So, and when I don't, it bothers me. So, and some other stuff. There's a lot of other stuff, but that's what we got to talk to. I don't really talk to anybody, so I'm trying to talk to people now at the VA. So it kind of helps. But there's this. I say everybody has their own path to take, Tone. So some people drink. A lot of us veterans, we drink. Like, I try to slow it down. So
That's like my father. He used to
drink
drink a lot.
away, you know what I mean? So that's just things, you gotta, but you always try to be strong for the family because you don't want them to be worried. So that's the kind of things you gotta do.
Right.
So, and then you gotta talk to your brothers and sisters in the military too, because they're the ones that really understand. So these are the things you gotta do to try to make it from day to day, and and all that kind of stuff. So they're the things you really got to do, Tone.
Yeah, because I thought about joining.
Bad days, good days, that's why a lot of times I go to the range, because I be worried about stuff and I want to keep my skills up. So in case anything goes down, you know what I mean? I'm ready. So these are things you you suffer with and things you do, you know, because being in the military, you just notice things different than other people. Like things about to happen on the street or whatever, you know, you see it, you just look out because you're always on the lookout. So that's why things are like hard for us veterans. And I can't stand the one thing that gets on my last nerves is when something like in social media goes on. And I was like, our veterans wouldn't like that. They would hate that, like the kneeling and all that crap. Like, man, we really ain't trying to hear. Most of the veterans ain't trying to hear all that. Kneeling a flag and all that. It has nothing to do with us. You're like, we fought so you could have that freedom of speech. You know, to say what you want to say, to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? For me, like, that's what we go for. So it's this place is for freedom. The flag is supposed to be about freedom. America's supposed to be about freedom. So if people feel a certain way, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what people fought and died for. You know what I mean? So I just hate mostly when people use us as a crutch to lift their own means of what they're trying to do. Because they really don't care about us. They're just trying to get people rallied up. And that's the thing I hate the most. Is using us, like the politics and social media is using us for their own agenda. Because they ain't what we're here for. We're not here for that. I tell you the truth, most of us could care less about politicians and people. Like we really only care about ourselves and our brothers and sisters because we know we're our own protectors at the end of the day. And nobody else is. And that's the truth. We could care less because we know at the end of the day, we're here for them today. When they don't need us anymore, we're out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? That's it. Like there's some celebrities that you'll see that they do stuff, but you'll notice they'll do it all in quiet. They won't be cameras all over the place. They do things behind the scenes and be quiet about it. You know what I mean? Like Gary Sinise, he always did stuff, you know, that was cool behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So there's some people out there, you know, that will do things, but I hate that. That's the thing I hate the most is when they start saying, well, military people don't like that. That's a disgrace. Like, you don't know. You ain't one of us. Most of the people that say that, they ain't even one of us. So that's the joke about it. You know, how you gonna tell us how we feel about something? Like, we did what we had to do. We did what we wanted to do for our people back home and everything. But you're gonna say, well, most of y'all never even served. Like, how are we supposed to feel about it? You know, that's just the craziest thing to me that pisses me off so much. You know, so but everything else Tony say about the shooting and all that stuff, we all gotta do our own thing, Tony. So that's pretty much it.
If I can interrupt for a minute, I mean, I have something to add. I think at the end of the day, you just have to know that you're worth it. You know, you're selfless. You went and fought a battle for people that you don't even know. You know what I mean? Like you have a good heart. You have a good head on your shoulders. You have to know, and this is for my brothers and sisters too. You know what I mean? Like we did that. We signed that invisible contract to give our lives for people that we don't even know. You know what I mean? That takes a lot of heart. That takes a lot of courage. That takes lowering down your pride. And you know what I mean? Because a lot of people aren't for us. You know what I mean? But we'll take the hit. We'll take the hit as long as we are protected. Because when it really comes down to it, a lot of us do it for our families, to make sure that our families are protected. You know, and if other people, you know, are protected, you know, that's a bonus. You know what I mean? Of course. You know, but we don't do it for the government. We don't do it for, you know what I mean? Like they treat us like pit bulls on a leash. You know what I mean? Like they're willing to unleash us on anybody, like a plague, you know? But at the end of the day, you just have to hang on to your humanity as much as possible. Hang on to your humanity. Always choose to love. Always choose to care. Always choose to feel. No matter how many times they drill that into you, oh, you know, don't feel, don't gain any attachments, don't do this, you know, feelings are weakness and things like that. That's not weakness. You know what I mean? Not feeling is what's a weakness, because when you come out of this and you don't have no feelings and all you want to do is stay numb, that's what kills you. That's what is going to kill you. So hang on to your humanity. That's the best advice that I can give to you.
That's true.
Vinny, Mike, you guys have anything to say on that? You good, Vinny? Vinny's good.
For
He says
me,
something said. Go
For me, I agree with both. We've all seen some crazy. You know, I don't know what either of y'all have gone through or not. I know what I've gone through. But like Alexandra said, you know, hold on to your humanity. And that's the reason why I chose my new profession after 21 years in the Army. I decided to go into nursing so that I can help. I want to be there for people who are having a bad day, you know, so I can channel some of the guilt that I feel for being here and the people that I worked on back in Iraq who didn't make it, you know. So that's one of the things, you know. My little girl, she keeps me grounded. She loves me. She makes me laugh and all stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you got to care about yourself. You got to make sure that you're the best form of yourself that you can possibly be, and always seek to improve. That's what I say, you know, and never give up love. Like Alexandra said, you don't give up on loving. You know, you can love from afar, you can love from up close, but you always love. Don't choose up to do violence or be hateful. That's my thing.
Listen, I'm glad that all you came, because I didn't know it's going to be all this crazy stuff going on. Y'all got me crying. You know what I'm saying? Andre crying. Everybody up there got tears and shit, man. All I wanted to do was say, you know, what I shouldn't say, hoorah, and all that shit. I ain't even, look, I'm very grateful for all of you for showing up, because you know, you don't really hear about this stuff. You don't hear about the before, during, and after. You see movies and stuff, but it's not really that real, because it's just an actor. You know what I'm saying? But when you talk to the people who lived it, done it on both sides, and it changes your perspective. It changes your perspective, and it makes me even more appreciative, because you know, we talked about the people who died. You know, you know, and God bless them. They gave their life, but we don't really talk that much about the people who had to live. You know what I'm saying? The people who had to watch to death. You know what I mean? The people who had to walk the streets, you know, knowing all this insanity from somewhere else. You know, and I'm just gonna say I'm grateful for you. You know what I mean? And I'm glad I didn't join, because this shit scares the hell out of me. And that's why I'm grateful for even more, because you know, you guys weren't like me. You said I want to be a soldier. I want to make sure this country is protected. You know what I'm saying? And I'll put my body on the line. And that's what you did. You put your body and your minds on the line. You know what I mean? And if you didn't have other veterans to talk to, I suggest that you four, you know, stay in contact if you can. You know, because that's what this is about. This like this is just about people coming together, having a discussion for an hour or so, and being honest. And I can say, if I was never honest on this webcast before, I'm honest now. I was honest today. I was honest, man. You know, listening to you guys made me think about some of my stories. You know, I won't call them war stories. They were just stories, you know, but you guys had actual war stories, and I'm grateful. And, you know, if you guys want to keep talking, we can. We're at the hour. We're doing good. But if you want to go home or since you're already home, if you want to just get off, it's all good. Get off is all good. But I think I had one more question. One more question. Okay. I can't think of it. But how about this? What now? What now? Or what are you doing right now about your life? Like, what good is happening that's making your life worth what it is right now? Just little short thing. Who want to go first? Go ahead, Tony. No, Tony, I ain't playing. Go ahead, Vinny. Vinny, what now? What's going on now that's making life so good for you, or making life what you want it to be?
You gotta unmute him.
Oh, I got to unmute.
Yeah.
Oh, my fault. You must have been making noise. I had to mute you. Go ahead, man.
It's great. So we're gonna get all positive, but I wanted to add one more thing before we go positive.
Go ahead.
It's so a lot of us have environmental exposures to multiple things, and we have a lot of health issues now that we're getting older. And I just want to see out there, anybody has some health issues that can't explain, to go to the VA and just get checked out, because we were exposed to depleted uranium. The burn pits are a big thing that the VA is recognizing right now. We have chemicals on our base. The fire foam, it's called PFAS. It goes into the water table. We were drinking that water for years, showering in it.
Oh my goodness.
The birth defects, cancers. We've been exposed to everything. And the anthrax vaccine, 6 series, they just abruptly stopped. So there's a lot going on, a lot of research in the VA. So if anybody's got some weird health issues, go get checked out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anthrax shot.
Okay,
Yeah.
they always talk about all those shots, so I get it.
And the VA is just recognizing now they have like 3 symptoms for the burn pits that they're called presumptive conditions. If you were there at a certain time and you got these conditions, that they're gonna take care of it for you. You know, that's what they're saying. So they're starting to recognize it, like the Agent Orange deal for the Vietnam vets.
Good Lord.
Well, they made sure they died off before they paid them.
Yeah, they're almost all gone
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, we're 20 years into it now, and they're starting to recognize it.
Yeah, Uncle Dorsey got his money here finally.
Oh, good. But you know, now that we're done with the gloom and doom, because you know,
exactly.
we got to move on, no matter what happens to us, right? You know, we got to keep going. We got to keep the ball rolling. So, how are you keeping the ball rolling now, Vinny?
Well, I met my wife. I have 2 young children. They keep me going. I still have some issues, but working through it. And friends, Dre, we keep in touch all the time. It's all about your friends, your family, and you have to have goals.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I'll just promote it on my job. I didn't ask for it, and my boss is a Marine. We just kicked it off really well. And he just promoted me. I was like, wow, I didn't want
congratulations on that promotion, bro.
Well, congratulations, man.
That's awesome, man.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. I wasn't asking for it, but you know what? I'm stepping up because that's what we do, right?
That's right.
So he saw that in me. I just wanted to lay low on the radar. He saw that. So now we're back. So it's a good thing.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Andre. How about you, man? What you got going good?
I'd say probably you guys, you know what I mean? We hang, but we play the video game, so it takes my mind away from things, you know what I mean? So
so you're retired, right? Because you're retired. That's you know what?
Yeah,
I don't even want to ask you because you don't gotta work no more. I'm mad.
That is true. I'm retired, so I'm good. Military and city. So yeah, that's the life. Yeah, that's the life, not having to get up in the morning and do something if I don't feel like it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that is definitely a good thing. I done visit some of my military friends and some other people, you know what I mean? So that takes, the craziness away from time to time. So that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Because like when you retire, now you're thinking all the time, you ain't got, you ain't got regular work. So but it's good. Because I remember the first day I retired, I was like, oh man, what I'm gonna do the rest of my life now? I was like, you know what? Absolutely nothing. I ain't got to go back to work. So, that was a great damn feeling. I ain't gonna lie, Mike. I know you know about it, Mike. He retired, yeah. So, yeah, that's good. I didn't got everything, and I was able to do that. So that makes me happy.
It's nice to be able to get a job and just quit a job.
Yep. Get on your nerves, be like, I'm out of here. But I ain't working no more. I ain't doing nothing else. I told you right before I retired, I was like, I ain't doing another damn job. I ain't gonna be working with people I don't have to be. So it's a good thing. Yeah.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. All right, Mike, your turn. What you got going? That's good, man. Besides just the nursing, I know you did. That's a beautiful thing, brother. But go ahead. I'll let you tell.
So I spend a lot of time with my daughter. We just came back from a birthday party, and she keeps me going. You know, her 8-year-old innocence is the world to me. You know, questions. She's so smart and all that. And Andre, she loves your book, bro.
Oh,
She
that's
loves your book.
okay. That's what it's
I
about.
tell you, we read that at least every 2 weeks, man.
Oh, okay.
So thanks a lot on that one.
Oh,
But
you're welcome.
yeah, that's my girl. That's my love right there. I just got a new puppy about a month ago. He ain't so little no more. He's going to be a big dog. Other than that, I'm loving San Antonio. If y'all ever get down this way, y'all need a place to stay or y'all need somewhere to go or whatever, I got you.
That's cool, mate.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
It's
always
hot as
want to
hell.
live in a city with a sand in it. They seem to be pretty good. You know what I mean?
Mhm. This is
How
one.
about you, Alexander? Alexander, it's your turn. What's good? What you got good? What's going on now?
Well, I got a lot of stuff going. I'm a senior vice commander. Well, I was senior vice commander of American Legion, now junior vice commander of American Legion. So I help veterans as well. I'm also living in veteran housing. So there's a lot of things that they don't tell us when we get out of the military, like as far as like benefits and things like that. We kind of got to go around and look for things. So if you guys need the hookup on knowing how to get cheap tickets to go to Cubs games or, well, not Cubs games, I'm sorry. But any type of baseball game, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I know where to send you, you know, attorneys, things like that, you know, stuff like that. I'm all in tow with that type of stuff. I'm also a dog groomer, so I groom dogs. I'm into all sorts of entrepreneurial stuff, you know, writing books, drawing, painting, raising my kids, of course. My oldest son, he's 21 and he is in the Marines in San Diego currently. He is a combat Marine. He just came back from a deployment recently. So, you know, just keeping him going, keeping his morale up and, you know, making sure that he's good. Being a Marine is not easy for him anyway, you know, but he's doing really well. You know, he you know, he hates it, but he loves it to a point where he knows he needs to be all he can be, you know. So,
that's the follow being a Marine when you're young. You know what I mean? The hardest thing is coming back to work on Monday because you partied all weekend.
Oh yeah, he better not be partying.
That is in the military period. You know how it was when you doing that.
I don't want to know. I know enough. I don't want to know.
Yeah. She's a mom, Andre. She's a mom. She's a mom, Andre.
Tell me nothing. Tell me nothing.
All right.
Yeah, I'm pretty much good to go as far as, you know, keeping myself busy, you know, like an idle mind is the devil's playground. Also getting myself, you know, the help for all different type of stuff, you know, counseling and, you know, just grounding myself and getting help for things that I've dealt with in the past and, you know, knowing when to ask for help. And number one, you know, like God is my ultimate source. So, you know what I mean? You can't go wrong there, definitely. So, you know what I mean? Like he's helped me through quite a bit. So yeah, like that's pretty much what I'm doing.
That's what's up. Always got to need that higher power changes things, man. For real, for real.
Absolutely.
What's up, Dawn? How about you? What you got going good? How you doing?
Well, speaking of quitting jobs, I just put in my 2 weeks at my job. I actually got hired by the Department of Treasury. So I start with the government in November the 22nd, in 2 weeks. And I mean, yeah, it's a job. So we all work, right? Except for Andre. Right? Except for Andre.
Believe me, he works, believe me.
Working on your nerves don't count. But you know, I got, of course, my daughter, and my grandkids. And there's 5 of them. Can you believe that? I got 5 grandkids.
5 grandkids.
5 grandkids. Can you believe
that? Sounds like a prayer request to me.
For sure.
You gotta babysit them, right?
Would you leave your kids with me? But no, seriously, I mean, they are like the light and the joy. They keep me going. you know, I went through some stuff. I was doing a lot of stuff I shouldn't have been doing for a long time. And I finally made it to a place where I'm comfortable. So I'm moving forward. You know, you put things down, you pick other things up. And right now I'm doing the best I can and trying to make sure that I leave some kind of decent legacy behind.
I'm proud of you.
Something that the kids can be proud of. And thank you, Lex. I know you know. This girl, y'all just don't know. This girl watched me. This girl watched me. I cried underneath her kitchen table. I was I was a hot mess. And there was a lot of time. There was a lot of times on that military base that I don't think I was myself. And I lost a lot. I lost a lot of myself. I lost a lot of myself going through things back then. But now, looking back, I can see the better part of who I really am, the better part of my person, the better part of my soul. And I'm just working to make sure that that person is the person that shines through.
Yes. And it does. It always has. It always has. It's just that, you know, sometimes we don't see it, you know, but I seen it. I seen it.
I know you know. I know you know. There was days I didn't think I was gonna make it. Bubble, you had a conversation with me one night, and I didn't even want to live. Like, I just did not want to live. I didn't want to go on. I really didn't.
I understand.
And look at you living. Look at you.
It's been a wild ride. It's been a wild ride.
All you had to do is live long enough and do what you had to do. You know what I'm saying? And now you standing up, happy, proud, got a new job coming. Your life is changing as you live. That's beautiful, baby.
Celebrate.
Now, I don't know about Tone. I don't know if he young.
Being young is harder than it is. I think it's harder now for the younger ones. Like,
I think so too.
Yeah, they got a lot more going on than we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we didn't have their lifestyle. We didn't have the phone in front of our face 24 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different life.
They just need a foot in their ass. That's all. They just need a foot in their ass, you know, from us. You know, we'll get them going. We'll get them on the right track.
I think Tone gave his own foot and put it right in his own ass plenty of times.
Don't worry, been there, done that.
I'm gonna unmute you, Tone. I'm gonna let you say just a couple of things, and then we're gonna end it. All right, brother? All right, Tone. What you got going good?
Well, what I got going good now is got a brand new car. It's a 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage.
That's beautiful.
Right. Off that damn thing. But yeah, I have that. I'm still with Amazon, even though there's days I just want to leave because they complain about every little thing now. And it's just like I might as well go to FedEx or try something else. But I'm still sticking with them. Pretty much.
Yeah, all that's just part of being a responsible adult, Tone. That's just being responsible. You're doing good, brother. You're doing
good. Yeah. I'm way better than what I was years ago. Every time I look back, like, damn, I went through all that.
Yeah, you went through a lot. And I'm grateful, man. I feel grateful just that.
I'm still.
It's all good.
Because, you know, there was a couple of times where I almost dug out off of my own.
I'm sure.
Yeah, tell me this. What should I do about this situation? What should I do about that situation? What should I do about this? What should I do about that?
I thought you was
almost every day I was calling you about situations. Oh no. But yeah. I'm just pretty much living a simple life. I really don't have nothing really that good yet. I'm still trying to start my business. I'm being lazy about it. So I'm trying to get out of that. So right now, either the 12th or 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna actually finalize everything and get everything started.
All right. That's what's up, brother.
So
You know, we always about progress.
yeah,
Katone, I want you to know this right now, right? From when you came living with me to what you're doing now, I want you to take a good look at what you got. Because sometimes we don't appreciate because we're still working. You got a lot,
yeah,
brother. You got a lot going on. You got a wife. You're happy. You got a life. You're doing good, my brother. And as the rest of us know, all you got to do is keep going. That's all you got to do. Just keep going,
yeah,
brother. Just keep going. Even
I
through the
think
dark.
as far as the laziness, it's more or less, like don't wait to feel like doing it, because you're never gonna feel like doing it. Push yourself through it. Make yourself do it. You know what I mean? Even on the days you don't want to do it, make yourself do it, because you're forcing a habit. It's kind of like working out. It takes 2 weeks to get your body conditioned, 3 days to lose it all. You know what I mean? Like, you got to condition your mind and your body to work even when it doesn't want to. You got to push through it. You're never going to feel like doing it. None of us feel like doing it, but you just got to push through it.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't feel like doing this.
And look at what happened.
But look, every time I go to start a show, an hour before, I be like, man, why are you doing this? And then I have it, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to do this. You know what I'm saying? And this show proved it to me tonight, once again, that you know what? I love having y'all in my life, man. This is the best thing that could happen to me. You know what I mean? So I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for all of you. And if you don't know, if anybody doesn't appreciate your service or your life on this earth, just know that Aaron Redmond, it means a lot to Aaron Redmond. All right?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Love you guys. Everybody say bye to everybody, because we out.
Love you too. Y'all
Right.
take it
Bye,
easy. Be
everybody. Love
blessed.
you.
God bless
y'all.
you.
All right, okay, great.
Right,
Okay, love y'all, and thank
Love
everybody
you.
for your
Take care.
service. Never.
Thank you guys as well.
Thank you for your service.